Welcome to the Casters Pod. I know I may not look good, but I know that I'm very odd. It's decided to Sightless, and that's what you'll hear, because right here you have me, and over there it's Clint. Say hey, Clint. Say what's up.
What's up, everybody?
Not a whole lot, just me and my buddies. We're here to record so that you can hear. And how about you give us a like, a share, a subscribe, and make us cheer? Not bad.
Not bad.
Not
Hello,
bad.
hello, hello, everybody. So, as he said, I'm Clint. Welcome to the podcast. We appreciate everybody tuning in, everybody that's liked, subscribed, shares the video. We appreciate that so much. First, we're going to start off by saying thank you, thank you, thank you to Stumpy Security Agency. He has definitely helped a lot on this podcast and helping us reach certain milestones. 2001 Southwest Avenue, Waukesha, Wisconsin. Please, don't kill me if I said that wrong. But that's where he's located right now. I've told y'all before, he's looking at expanding, looking at going different places. So if you're looking for anybody armed, unarmed, I mean, it's his security agency. He does it all. Definitely a great guy when he's expanded. I suggest everybody look at him or look him up. Yeah, look at him, look him up, and help him out in his journey into becoming one of the biggest security agencies that he can become. Thank you, Stumpy Security Agency, again.
I'd have to admit, I'd be kind of like Tommy Boy. I know what I saw. Nothing.
Little bit of recap. We are at Scottish Rites Memorial Hospital. That's we've been here for a while.
Yeah, all in all, I've cut a lot out that was a lot of repetitive stuff. I am there from like the second or third, roughly in December until like January 3rd of the following year. So it was 2000 when I had the wreck. So I'm there till January 3rd of 2001. So a long time. And we just got through Christmas. And a lot of that time was, me recovering and little things. And I say little things, but repetitive things like that.
Yeah, and we don't really want to. I'm not going. Let me say this to Rob. I don't want to say we're not going to bore everybody with the little details,
Right.
but I mean, a lot of people, you can kind of imagine or understand that there's stuff that goes on in the hospital that really there's no need to know about because it's little stuff.
Yeah, on December 8th at 9:31 a.m. I took a pee.
Exactly. Little stuff.
9:32 I took a poop.
Yes, understand that he is explaining the bigger
Yes.
milestones of the visits to the hospital.
Yes.
Uh, we talked about a lot of stuff that has been traumatic to him, definitely, and would be traumatic to anybody. So we're going to tell you a little bit more of that story today. But first, we're going to go ahead and get in this episode and talk about some challenges that you may face. So one of them, which is a question from a viewer, which is Sean. So we thank you, Sean. Keep sending the questions. We appreciate that.
Yes. Murphy Sean.
Difficult chores to perform without sight or assistance. Now, this is a little bit different question. Somebody did ask about your day to day.
Yeah.
So this right here is a little bit of a deep dive into, we understand that you cook.
Mm-hmm.
But now give us a little, like I said, chore wise during your day to day, what does that look like?
Well, obviously, I can't mow or weed eat the yard. I have mowed, and if I had it fenced in, I could mow with a push mower. I mean, I don't think you want me being on a riding lawnmower, although I would find that highly entertainable. But I could do it if my yard was fenced in. Let it grow up to a certain length and then go at it. Um, but I'll say like inside chores. It's what I'm going to base the question off of. I don't have problems washing or drying clothes. I have a problem folding them and putting them up. Not because I'm blind, but because I'm lazy. And I'll do it in a minute. I'll do it in a minute. And I'll do it in a minute.
I mean, that's everybody. Though.
It's nothing different.
Yeah.
You know, then whenever I go into the closet, like to get ready for church or to go out with y'all, I don't have any pants. I know I got pants. Oh yeah. um, but I don't separate whites from color. You know, I wash everything together, and it may not be appropriate, but that's me. I don't care. Uh, like I've told y'all before, I just care about the comfort. Um, so really washing clothes once I adapt like the washing machine or the dryer to where I can use it. Like for instance, I'll put a little piece of tape or a Velcro strip or some kind of marker there to know that this is the spin cycle. Because living out in the country with a well, you know, the screen gets filled up with sand sometimes and they don't always spin it out. So that's one that I mark. And, you know, I may mark like I don't know if it's called entire wash, full wash, whatever, full cycle, but I will mark certain locations on the washer. I'll leave like the load and all that the same because I have a really bad habit of packing the washing machine as full as I can get. Um,
Me too. No.
Mama used to get on to me about it, but it's like, hey, I can wash this all in once. But in reality, you're having to wash twice anyway. The dryer, once I get it and I turn it to like the till dry where it will run until everything's dry, I don't touch it again. So I can't say that doing laundry is bad. And other people may have like smart dryers and things like that. Me personally, that's just something to tear up. And you're still gonna have to go back to manual eventually. Um, I'm probably looking around my house, you wouldn't think that I clean, but I mean, I do sweep, I do mop occasionally. It's not that it's hard for me, it's just that, I mean, not many people come over, so I can't see the mess. You know, I will, you know, clean up every once in a while. It's not like I live in a dumpster or anything. It's more like a landfill. But I can do it. I just don't choose to do it every day. You know. Um, trying to think, cooking's once I get an air fryer or my oven marked up to where I know things are at, that's not difficult.
So it sounds like a lot of it has to do with marking.
Yeah, like setting it up the first time, and after that, it's easy peasy lemon squeezy. You know what I mean, Z?
Yeah. So a question I'm gonna put a question in the question here because that's what we're here to do, right? We're here to learn.
Mm-hmm.
So I know of some sightless people use markings on their shirts, like this paper clip. You know, a bigger paper clip means black, smaller one means white. This pin means this shirt is,
Yeah.
I don't know, my striped shirt. This
Yeah.
pin means that, things like that. Do you use any kind of markings like that, or do you just kind of wing it and say, well, whatever shirt I pick out of the closet is it? You know what I mean?
Does it fit?
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
That I mean, that and that's fine and dandy, but that's somebody who has people with sight around them. Unless you watch each shirt or pair of pants, whatever, individually.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, you're never going to be able to tell that outside of the washing machine and dryer. I mean, there are apps out there that will say it's this color or it's that color, and that's fine and dandy that people want to focus and use those. Me, does it fit? Is it clean? Does it fit? And it doesn't always have to necessarily be clean, but it does have to fit. But I do have a routine in my closet. Um, I have, I assume you can still see me if I lean back. Like over here, I have t-shirts.
Mm-hmm.
Right here, I have shirts like I'm wearing now, polo shirts. Or right here, I will have pants, jeans, khakis, slacks. And then on the far end, I have dress shirts like button up, long sleeve, things like that.
Mm.
Now, whenever I finally do put up my laundry, I rotate. I'll start from the right and then push it forward like that because I'll always get the shirt that I'm wearing from the left, so that it always keeps rotating around.
Okay, well
I mean,
that's pretty smart.
that's I don't know where I got it from because I know I couldn't come up with it on my own. I mean, that's way too smart. But
First in, first out.
yeah, that's a way for me to make sure I'm not wearing the same thing every time. Like because if I have my choice and I can pick out the shirt, it would be my Tony Storm shirt. Chin up, tits out, and I'd wear that everywhere. But I mean,
So something you wasn't wearing was a shirt, shoes, or socks the other day when we did the ice bucket challenge.
the sleeveless shirt and the shorts and no socks, and it was freezing. Um, but it's like I've told Oakley, and you know this. I'm a man of my word. I said I'd do it. That was probably the best opportunity that we were going to have to do it. I mean, we may have other opportunities, but I'm not doing it again. But I figured take the chance while we have the chance to do it.
That's right. And so if anybody, it was we did a little short on it. I'll say it's a short. I mean, it's like a minute.
I was in shorts.
It was a minute and a half. It's like a minute and a half. We did that for the subscribers. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much for subscribing. We've been talking a little bit, so to give a little insight, that's not the last challenge to be.
No.
Everybody knows, or if you've been around for the podcast, you know that we're going to do the one chip challenge at a certain goal. Or
that'd be 100 YouTube subscribers.
That's right. We've actually been looking for future challenges. If you follow us on any of the social media, we have been speaking about it, telling our input on it. If you have any input, just like the questions, please, please, please send it in. Let us know. Let us know what challenges you would like to see. I've definitely put some thought into it. I know Bubba has. I know our editor, Cody.
Our pod boss.
Yeah,
our pod boss.
He's definitely thought about it. He's looked into it. A couple of the ones that we're thinking about is the build a sandwich one. It was a big, social media craze. A lot of people were doing it. We wouldn't even have to blindfold him to do that. So that would be that would make it fun, he would get to do that.
And I would cook anything that we needed to cook.
Yeah, and that was actually another thing I was going to put is, we could do a short or just a little live stream video or something of, Bubba cooking. That would be interesting for people to see this, so they could see it really, in real time and how it really works of him cooking, because that's a big question to people.
And if we can get enough subscribers to our Facebook page where we can go live there and do it, what better way to draw people to us?
That's right. That's right. And then something else we were talking about is for me to do a challenge. And the challenge would be I would have to blindfold myself and do something of Bubba's choosing, that he would have to do in a day-to-day basis, or something that, he just needed to do, not, want or need. I would have to do that. But I wanted to take it a step further and maybe do a couple things that he would have to do just to kind of see, what it would be like. And I would like to do it in a place, I'm not going to say unknown, like just take me to a random place. I'm going to say, somewhere that I'm not familiar with, so I get the full effect of it. I don't want to be at my property. I don't want to be at Bubba's property because, that's kind of, I feel like that's cheating, and I want to let y'all see the full effects of what it's going to be and how hard it actually is to be sightless.
Grocery shopping.
Yeah, so we're going to take and have our editor, go with us and film this whole interaction.
That'll be at Burger King.
So if you have any ideas to go along with that, please, please, please send them in. Let us know what you'd like to see. We really want to get this page, off to a great start, you know, we're already off to a great start.
Yeah.
Let's say we want to just keep going, keep growing, keep drawing people in, keep letting them know what's happening, when it's happening, how it's happening,
Where it's happening.
you know, let them get the full effect of this podcast and what it's about.
We want to go viral.
Yes, we want to go viral. So as everybody can see, beside me this is my son, Oakley, for anybody that doesn't know him. He is 12. He's 12, just turned 12 in December.
Did you look at him like, are you really 12?
I had to add it up real quick. No, so I love him. He's my best friend. He's always been there.
That's
But-
it, I'm leaving. I thought I was your best
But
friend.
he definitely he loves Bubba too. He's been there for Bubba. You know, he tries to do everything he can for him. There have been some funny moments with him and Bubba. But you know, that comes with him learning.
It does.
You know, and the biggest thing to me is him wearing, I'm not gonna say wearing his heart on his shoulder, but that's basically what it is, wearing his heart on his shoulder for Bubba.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't want him to grow up and treat anybody different, because nobody should. We should all definitely be here for anybody that has any kind of disability, what
Or not a disability.
or non-disability. Yeah, you should just be nice in general, you know, but definitely the way Oakley, you know, does with Bubba, he definitely treats him with more how would I put that? More compassion.
Yeah.
You know,
unless he needs to run in the house.
Unless he needs to run in the house. So
well, we'll talk about that later.
Yeah. So we're gonna ask Oakley a question. We brought him on the podcast because
I promise.
You know, not everybody. Well, first, yeah, Bubba promised him, but you know, hearing from us, hearing from adults, and understanding our point of view is definitely going to be different than his.
Mm-hmm.
He is, again, he's only 12. He hasn't been around this his whole life. He's been around Bubba for, you know, a good bit of it.
Age 4?
Yeah, a good bit of it. But he's definitely had to step into it and kind of learn things he can do, things he cannot do, things that will help Bubba, things that will hurt Bubba. You know, just like walking through a house, you know, Oakley understands that if he comes over, he can't move something in a different spot because Bubba knows the house and he knows how to get around to the rooms he needs to go to.
Mm-hmm.
But if we move something, then it trips everything up. So
until I learn that.
Until he learns that, exactly.
That's why I don't clean.
We're gonna let Oakley talk. You know, we're gonna ask him a question, and if Bubba has a question, he can just chime in and ask him a question.
I got a few.
But before we ask the question, just understand that Oakley is a man of many words. So be prepared. He doesn't really like talking too much.
But he will.
And he'll answer the questions. I'm confident in that. So enjoy this segment from Oakley. This is going to be pretty neat. This is something we're going to try. We may bring more people into the podcast and let them answer some questions that have been around Bubba for a long time, and let them give their perspective on it. You know, or I should say we, me, Shannon, and Oakley, or Shannon, Oakley, and I, excuse me.
I thought you had it right the first time.
I've been around Bubba, and we're around him a lot, probably the most.
Yeah. Larry would be a good one.
Yeah, our perspectives, you know, we've got a lot of good perspectives on it. We've learned them, so it's good to bring other, you know, eyes and ears in here to let them really give their perspective.
I take offense to the whole eyes thing.
That's why I said eyes and ears.
Okay.
Aha. Oakley. Question. Very simple question.
Very short answer.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
You can explain it. So basically, one of the questions we want to ask is, what is it like being around Bubba and having him sightless? For you, from your perspective, what is that like?
Give me a second.
Uh,
I mean, it's honestly pretty fun because I get to help him. He's funny.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I probably bring him a lot of pain from the Arby's trash can, a car door, a pole. I promise these are unintentional.
I wonder.
I'm trying not to run him into things.
It's all part of learning, bud.
That's right.
And
But it's pretty fun overall.
It is, and if I didn't want to teach you, and it's not really that I'm teaching you, but I'm letting you learn, I'm willing to take the pain. I mean, I have a high tolerance of pain. I put up with Shannon a lot. Uh, but I mean, seriously, it's going to help you. It may not help you now, but when you're 20, 25, I think you'll look back and appreciate it. Not that you don't appreciate it now, but I was always taught get them at a young age, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean teach them when they're young, and it'll stick with them. But Oakley, I do have a question for you. Do you
Okay.
remember the first time I walked with you?
I remember a few brief moments of it. I remember the first time I met you, and I remember the first time I walked with you
Uh huh.
because you guys talk about it frequently.
Because it was hilarious, but sweet at the same time.
Yeah, the first time I met you, we were at Wild Adventures, and there was, I think we were at one of the eating spots,
Mm-hmm.
and you were standing with Cody.
Mm-hmm. He was probably eating a double cheeseburger.
Yeah,
But yeah.
that's good. Yeah.
And then the first time I walked with you, it was to a ride. I don't
Mm-hmm.
remember which one,
It
but
was a scrambler or rattlesnake or something like that.
yeah, but I know that I screamed, "Everybody be careful, he's blind," the entire time we walked.
That's what I wanted to know if you remembered. And I figured you would since we talk about it so much, because I mean it's a precious memory to me. Um and I know you mentioned the whole Arby's thing. And and a lot of what I take, I guess, on myself in the risk is a lot of people are taller than me. So if they're gonna hit something, they'll tell me. But walking with someone, like Oakley or the few other people that are shorter than me, if they miss it, that doesn't mean I'm gonna miss it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've caught a tree, I've caught limbs. I mean, but it's okay. I'm the one taking that risk. And yeah, I could hold my hand up in front of my face and wave it like that, but I mean, to me, I think that's ridiculous. It may work for other people, for other blind people, but as y'all both know, I'm not your typical blind person. I'm not a sourpuss. Like Oakley said, I like to laugh and I try to be funny and like that. But Oakley, do you remember the most recent adventure that you and I had?
Yeah,
Okay.
I still can't remember where because this was like 3 weeks ago.
It was at your house.
Oh,
Uh-huh. When we went running the decathlon. Or you went running the
oh,
decathlon. I was just trying to hang on for dear life.
yeah, when I was sitting at the house after I had got home from school one day, and my mom and Bubba got to the house to carry some groceries in. And I walked out there to help them, and I left the door open on accident, which is probably a really bad idea because I have a cat. And I was like, "Here, Bubba, you can walk with me." And then I was walking until my mom said, "Seriously, you left the door open?" And I just started sprinting up the stairs. Which,
Man, Bubba
yeah,
hadn't moved that fast in a long time.
And unfortunately, our security cameras, for some reason, didn't pick that up. And I'm not
Because
sure.
we moved too quick.
I guess they were just moving so fast.
because the door was open, it's usually like this, but it was all the way over there.
So that's just a couple little stories that they have. That's with Oakley. And I'm not sure if we mentioned this in the previous podcast. I think we did mention a little bit of it, and Bubba said he would never tell Oakley, and I'm not going to tell him to his face, but I'm going to tell y'all, and y'all are going to hear it with him right here beside me, because I would like him to be here, and I want Bubba to be in the same room when I say this. But we do appreciate everything that Bubba does for Oakley. Christmas, birthday, he always gets him a present. Always gives him something, but he cares for him. He's just so nice to him. And
I love him.
One instance that I really appreciated the most because it was definitely something that I would have done, and that's obviously because I'm his father. But something that meant a lot to me was when we was at we were going to look at the Christmas lights.
Y'all were going to look at the Christmas lights. I was going to hear the buzzing.
Yeah, he was going to hit the puzzle. He was going to look at them. I think it was the same day that you went up the stairs, wasn't it?
It was.
Yeah, so we got down to a gas station. We got out to get a drink and everything before we went to the lights. And we were walking in, and I could tell when something's wrong with Bubba when he's walking. I could just tell because I can hear his grunt, or I'll feel him just lean a certain way or walk a certain way, and I'll know something's wrong. We went in the gas station, and I could just tell, and I asked him, I said, "Something's wrong. What's wrong?" And he had told me that that run with Oakley really, really hurt him. It took a toll on him. It was bad. And I was asking, if he needed medicine, does he need to go home? Do we need to cancel the lots? And he told me, he said, "Don't you say a word to Oakley. Don't you ever tell him. Don't you tell him nothing, anything at all." He says, "Hurting or not, I'm going to go with him to these Christmas lights." He says, "It doesn't matter that he hurt me because he didn't mean to. It wasn't his fault. He wasn't thinking, and he just went to do what he was supposed to do at the time."
What he was told to do.
And he said, "So don't tell him. I'm doing this for him. Let's go to the lots." And so that just meant a lot to me because, it just shows how much he cares for Oakley and how much or what he would do for him, to go through that pain and still go see the lights or anything else that Oakley wanted to do. Because the first time we tell him that Oakley has something, he said, "Well, if Oakley asks me, I'll go." Because we're not allowed to ask him to Oakley's events. Oakley's got to ask him because he wants Oakley to really want him to go. So if Oakley asks him, he's going to go. He wouldn't miss anything. And a little insight on Oakley. He shoots BB for competitions and everything. And it's not really. It wouldn't be Bubba's forte because he can't see, and all that requires you to see.
Yeah.
Unless we were sitting there right beside him telling him the scores that he shot and everything. But again, we were talking about it, and he said that he would go to Oakley's BB match if he asked him if he wanted him there to support him.
As long as it's not too cold.
Yeah.
Because if my metal plate gets cold, I have a migraine.
That's right.
And I'm not good for anything.
Yeah. So that just means a lot to me. So don't don't ever take somebody for granted, no matter who they are or what they got going on, because you never know. They could turn out to be your best friend or family or whatever you may want to call them.
Exactly.
So that's that segment. That's a little bit of insight on the relationship between Bubba and Oakley.
We ain't gotta tell everybody I'm a good guy. I mean,
so it's just it's really neat for everybody to understand, different perspectives from Bubba on different people. He treats everybody the same. He treats them with respect, dignity. He's humble for sure.
I mean, treat everybody the way you want to be treated.
That's right.
And people don't always treat you that way, but you don't answer for somebody else.
That's exactly right. Mm-hmm. You're exactly right.
Preach. Oh, sorry.
So we're going to move on to what a lot of people want to hear is
me singing?
No, I don't think anybody.
I don't think anybody wanted to hear that either. I mean,
we're at Scottish Rites, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, we may be winding down Scottish Rites, actually.
We are, depending on how long this actually takes. We've had the Christmas service. I've had the Christmas meal for me, which was, the ketchup, mustard, and orange juice, all dyed blue. Let's see. I mean, I talked about the rehab where she wanted me to ride the bike.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, Clint, what's going on here is it's just repetitive day after day. I get up, do what they ask. I go sit back down in the bed or, in the chair. I don't recall still being hooked up to an IV, but I may have been. But it's really just same stuff day after day after day, and ready to go home. There's no point in being there, just ready to go home. Um, so Mama finally corralled the doctor and said, "Look, we're going home." And y'all met Mama. If she had her mind set on something, it was gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
And the doctor was like, "No, no, I don't think." And Mom said, "You don't understand. Whether you let us out or we have to walk out, we're going home."
That's right.
And so got the paperwork and all set up, set to leave January the 3rd, 2nd, 3rd. Again, I may not be exact on my dates, but it's been a long time and I used to be a professional wrestler, took lots of chair shots, so forgive me. I was a crash test dummy. Remember that cartoon?
I do.
That was a pretty cool cartoon in the commercials. But the dates may be off, but it's the first week in January. So all that gets set up. Because I've done everything they've asked and more. So we're heading home, uh, and we get back to the house. And to say this, I know I wasn't in the hospital, but like a month, I'll say a month and a half. Um, But think about being locked in a room for a month and a half. The only light is the fluorescent lights. The only air is the recycled air, from the air conditioner, stuff like that. It's like I was on the Death Star or something. And walking outside, man, the sun on my skin, the fresh air. I mean, I can only imagine that's what somebody who's been on death row and gets released, or someone in prison feels. I mean, because there's not a whole lot of difference there, except I didn't commit a crime,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like I was in a prison cell. Um, so we come back. I know they had you know what I mean whenever I say a big to do, like a big welcoming party
Mm-hmm.
or something like that. In the old, if I remember right, it's in the old lunchroom of Adel Elementary is what it was. What's it now? Del Bean Guard.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's where it was at. That may be something that's actually in the Adel paper. Uh, but a lot of people, came by to see me. It's probably wanting to see what I looked like after the airbag smashed me in the face, but that's just me being me. But seriously, they wanted to come by and say they had been praying for me and, if I needed anything. Um, they I can't remember Clint how many people was there, but I know there was a lot of people there. And it made me feel good, to that people, cared enough to come by to see me or, to make sure that we, had everything that we needed. And Dawn's daddy and mama, who, fortunately both have passed away now,
Mm-hmm.
he had come up to the hospital whenever I was there, or they had. And he said, as soon as you get back and you can eat, I'm gonna grill you a steak the size of a car hood. Man, I was happy. You know? um, so we're we've gotten back, and I'm actually staying in this house, staying in my daddy's old room. We they have been taught how to do breathing treatments, how to change out the trach, from that scar right there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and they had practiced it. Of course, the only dummy they could practice on was this dummy. So if Mama screwed up, bye bye Bubba, I reckon. But y'all know my personality. Y'all know how I like to joke and have fun. Well, one of the first times Mama changes it here at the house, I'm laying on the bed. She's got the pillow underneath my head. She's like, I tilt it back a little bit more so it's easier to go in. And I'm thinking, that's what she said, but I thought, I nodded because I was still wired shut. I couldn't speak. And she pulls the trach out and I go, like I can't breathe, like I'm dying, and she's over there panicking. And then she finally gets it slid back in, and get the chain hook, like the dog tag chain hooked back around it. And then she leaned in my ear, and I can't exactly repeat what she said, but needless to say, Bubba didn't do that again. I mean, you met Mama.
Yeah.
I never did it again. Yeah, I don't even think I thought about doing it again, and that's how scared I was. But so we were getting used, and I used to life, like this. I'm still very sleepy from all the anesthesia and stuff like that, and we are working on trying to get the wires taken off as soon as they can. Whenever my aunt, um, okay, I need to back up there. I go like probably at least every week up to the eye doctor up in Albany, and to keep a check on the pressure of the quote unquote good eye that I have. Um, and it's all good, and then it's not so good. He says the optical, or not the optical nerve, the retina is detaching, which means if it completely detaches, that's it. No hope. But he says that I might can get you in to one of the best hospitals there is, teaching hospitals, which is John Hopkins. And at the time, the number 3 ranked or rated eye doctor specialist worked there. So my aunt managed, to get us airplane tickets and let us stay with her while we were there, for that, particular surgery. And I begged and I pleaded that they take the wires off there, because by that point in time, I could have started eating, more solid food than what I was. But unfortunately, they refused. So that's the worst hospital ever. But they did give me a couple warm blankets, the hospital blankets. So they're still the worst hospital ever because they wouldn't take the wires off. But to explain a little bit more about that, what he did was some laser surgery and reattached it, and then put some like silicone oil or gel back there to hold it in place until it heals. And eventually it all dispersed, because they would shoot like lasers into my eye to relieve the pressure. And eventually all the oil came out, but the retina stayed attached. Um, and I would get the numbing drops to the eye whenever he would do these laser shots. And I finally asked, I was like, "Are you John Dillinger or something?" Because I mean, my eye can only take so much until it's worse than Swiss cheese,
Yeah.
But it got all that, taken care of. I mean, nothing major there. It's where I kind of fell in love with Starbucks, and because they had like the strawberry frappuccino. Um, but got all the eye stuff situated, got back here, then went back up to Scottish Rites to get the wires and all removed and the trait removed. And I'll get to that particular funny story in just a second, but I want to go back to the being wired shut. Now, I could drink liquid soups, I could drink soda, I could drink water, things like that, or water, if that's proper pronunciation. But food was difficulty. So we would have to blend it up, like mashed potatoes and gravy, probably one of the best things. Fried mushrooms and like honey mustard, like Dairy Queen used to have, put enough in there, perfect. Meatloaf, you could do it. You could pork chops, sausage, not really. Steak, definitely not because of all the fibers. So
So there was things you can.
Yeah, there were things that I couldn't.
That's really. I mean, that's a blessing, really.
Yeah, it is.
But not not being able to eat everything.
Mm-hmm,
It's funny that you mentioned that
mm-hmm,
because I know that you have, because coming close to the close of the podcast,
mm-hmm,
I know that you had a funny story you wanted to talk
mm-hmm.
about that.
Yeah. Um, just make a note that I'm going to talk about the being, having wires and everything. We'll just stop at that point for the next one. To go start with there. Uh, I lost a lot of weight. I'm still a fat guy, always will be. I think of that more as a mentality though than necessarily weight size. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm pretty big. But at the point of the wreck, I weighed 305 pounds. As I said in the episode that started this, the airbag came out at 300. My face was a point of impact, and it was a total of 605 pounds of pressure. So, all being wired shut, not being able to eat, liquid diet, yada, 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 all that horrible, horrible stuff. I was down to 225 pounds. Now, I had clothes for a 305-pound guy,
Mm-hmm.
which means they were like, you know. So we get back and churches had donated money, people had given money. So I was able, we were able to have Christmas once we got back. So we went shopping at the Walmart in Moultrie, but this particular incident happened at the Walmart. Is that Inner Perimeter, the
Mhm.
one that's
By the sound.
no, the other one. Um, the one by Sam's is on. Like actually,
Oh,
they all
yeah, you're talking about that one.
but it's one where that horrible restaurant Royal Buffet used to be. I don't know if it still is. May they go out of business if they are. So we get out of the truck and we're walking, and I'm holding on to the buggy. And Mama's pulling the buggy. You know how we do it. And Mama, it's really cold. It's not that bad. Mama, it's that wind blowing pretty bad now.
Oh no.
And she's like, no, not really. And both my hands are on the buggy because I'm getting used
That's right. Yeah.
to walking. I was like, Mama, I don't know. I was like, that wind. And she turned around and said, Richard, it's, oh my God, your pants are on the ground. I mean, thankfully I wasn't, I had on underwear. So, I mean, pulled them back. She's like, we got to get you a belt. I thought, well, how about some tighter pants? But I mean, and thankfully I was wearing underwear, but it's funny now. It was funny then, but it's just one of those things that, you didn't think about like getting out and going out that, I had clothes for a 305-pound guy. Now I'm 225. That's 80-pound difference. That's a lot of size difference. Thankfully my boxers held up though, and they didn't fall at the same time. So it was a good thing. But that's one of the funnier aspects of having lost so much weight. Now I have belts and I may have to put notches in them, but I can pull them tight.
That's right. That's right. So that's pretty good. That's
I thought it was.
that's funny. That's
So every time we go to that Walmart, I think about that story.
no, I will too. So thank you.
Oh yeah, you're welcome.
So we're coming to the end of the podcast. Little recap. We're out of Scottish Rites. We're
Yes.
at home.
Mhm.
Not sure, I haven't really talked to Bubba a lot about this. Not sure how we're going to continue with his story because obviously, kind of like the hospital, don't really need to know the day by day basis.
Right.
Then we're here answering questions about his day to day life now.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely hit key points and everything like that. So we'll continue the story. Definitely just keep going.
Yeah.
We're gonna go until there's no more story left, and then we're gonna talk to you about day to day things. What's happening days or weeks behind.
Yeah.
So don't go anywhere. Please continue. Like, subscribe,
Rate,
review, send us questions.
We need
Questions. That would be great.
questions.
Yes. One question that we didn't mention, and I saved it for the very end before the podcast ended, just because I wanted to show you what kind of questions that we do take. We've told you before, don't be scared to ask the question. If it is too personal, if we find out it's too personal,
I will answer you private.
that's right. We'll message you and give you an answer.
Mm-hmm.
So this one also comes from Sean. So thank you, Sean. This is going to take a little deep dive here, Bo, if you're ready.
Mm-hmm.
Type of women that you would prefer as a companion.
Breathing.
That's it. Podcast.
Yeah, podcast over.
That's
Breathing.
easy.
I want somebody who can look beyond the fact that I can't see. You know, I I know everybody tells me I don't look messed up. I feel like my face is messed up. I mean, I don't think that's ever going to change until I either see it again or I die. I don't think it's ever going to change. I just want somebody that can look past what I look like, my quote unquote disability, because I don't feel that it's a disability. I think it's a superpower, that can look past that and, for lack of a better term, see me for me. I mean, Oakley said I was a funny and good guy. You said I'm a good guy. Shannon has said it, which means a lot coming from Shannon. But I mean, all jokes aside, people judge the outward appearance before they get to know me. They judge the book by the cover, and I'm nothing like what I look like. I think I'm a good guy, but at the same time, I feel bad for saying that because I don't want to quote unquote toot my own horn. I would prefer somebody that could drive because I can't, you know. But in the end, what I'm really looking for is a Christian female, biological female. Let me make sure to put that out there. I heard that little, and that's willing to look past the blindness,
Which is
get to know me.
Which is, that's one thing that's funny to me, and it always has been funny. Is, I mean, just truthfully, you'd probably be able to do more than they could do.
Yeah.
I mean, and I'm just saying that
Give
because
me enough beer and I'll drive for it. But seriously,
yeah, he doesn't. And I'm not saying that I don't want that to be taken the wrong way, but I'm saying that not everybody knows how to put down their flooring.
Right.
You've done that.
Uh-huh.
You put down your own flooring, so you know how to do that, and that gives you a leg up.
Mm-hmm.
There's just so many things that you do that not everybody does in their day-to-day lives or at all in their lives.
Right.
So looking from the outside in, you do a lot more than most people, period.
Mm-hmm.
I don't put down my own floor.
The bank account doesn't always show it, but then again, at the same time, I save a lot of money by doing the things myself.
That's right. That's right. So looking, or not judging the book by its cover in this instance would be amazing because they would get to know the real you, see your compassion, what you're really here for.
Right.
So that would be great. Y'all heard it here. Christian female.
And you didn't ask my ideal.
Christian female, you looking it up, he's single. Hey, he's here, he's a great guy. He'll treat you with respect. Get to know him. Definitely get to know him. It would surprise you.
Best single guy in your area code.
That's who he is. That's what
Did you just say ho?
Area code.
Oh, I like ho better.
So yeah. Again, thank you. Send us questions, like, subscribe, share, comment, rate, review. We appreciate each and every one of you. Don't forget about the challenges. Send them in. If you think of a challenge or you see a challenge that you'd like us to do, please tell us. Thank you, Stumpy Security Agency. Again, He's an accredited business. Look him up online. He's in Waukesha, Wisconsin. All your security needs,
Waukesha? Oh,
armed, unarmed, just parking lot detail, whatever you need him for. When he expands, look him up. He'll get all your needs taken care of in the security field.
and if you'd like to donate, we're not asking or requiring anybody to donate, but if you'd like to, you can send any amount to my PayPal, which is rbennett2018@windstream.net. That's RBENNET2018@windstream.net. Or you can send via Cash App, which is at Unseen Critics. It is the at sign, ain't it, or is it the
Mhm.
$sign?
Dollar sign.
$sign, excuse me. Don't send it to at Unseen Critics. Send it to $sign UNSEEINGCRITICS. Let us know what you'd like to say and get in the shout out of the show, and we'd be more than happy to do it. But for now, I'll hear you later.
I'll see you later.
Peace out.
Thank you for watching. We hope you are enjoying the Sighted to Sightless podcast and all the improvements we have made so far, and still have more planned for the near future. If you are not already, please subscribe to our social medias for more content like this and share our videos with your friends. If you are not already, please subscribe to our social medias for more content like this and share our videos with your friends.